Whether it's a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, or between Iran and Israel, or even statements about destroying Iran's nuclear sites, Donald Trump's claims always stir up controversy. Critics say his claims are often incomplete or have very little truth in them. After a strike on Iran's nuclear sites, Trump made a global announcement, claiming the attack had completely shut down Iran's nuclear program, for good. He even used the word obliterated to emphasize that it was wiped out completely, but later reports revealed that Iran's nuclear sites had barely been damaged. And this wasn't some outside rumor. This intel came straight from the US Defense Intelligence Agency, and it somehow got leaked to the media. Once those reports went public, Trump lashed out at CNN and the New York Times, criticizing them harshly. He even demanded that the journalists who worked on the story be fired. But the way he reacted only made people more suspicious that the leaked report might actually be true. An Iranian news agency, Amwaj Media, later reported that Iran had been informed ahead of the strike and told it would be a one-time attack. But this wasn't the first time Trump got caught lying. Donald Trump's life has been full of alleged scandals, false claims, and fraud. Let's take a look at some of the most infamous lies Donald Trump has been caught telling. Welcome back once again to another Sofia verse video. Trump has made thousands of false or misleading statements over the years. According to fact-checkers at the Washington Post, during his first term alone, Trump made 3,573 false or misleading claims. That's an average of 21 lies a day. From 2017 to 2019, the Toronto Star in Canada recorded 5,276 false claims made by Trump. In the beginning, many news outlets hesitated to directly call his statements lies. But by June 2019, they started openly calling out his lies. Steve Bannon, a close ally of Trump and the CEO of his 2016 campaign, once said that Trump's real enemy wasn't the Democrats, it was the press. And the way to deal with the media, he said, was to flood them with so much confusion and so many statements that no one could focus on one issue. After the 2020 US presidential election, Trump and his supporters repeatedly made false claims that there was widespread fraud. They insisted that if not for the fraud, Trump would have won.
This is a fraud on the American public. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
That repeated claim, to some people, sounded like Hitler's infamous propaganda tactic called the big lie. In other words, tell a lie so big that people start believing it. The New Republic, a well-known American magazine, said Trump's statements weren't just lies, they were complete nonsense. Many professors, analysts, and political observers have said that politicians have always lied, but Trump took it to another level. Carol McGranahan, an American ethnologist in 2017, said lying in politics is nothing new. But Trump, she said, was a master of the craft. Historian Douglas Brinkley said that while some US presidents had misled the nation occasionally, no one lied repeatedly and habitually like Trump. Some experts have even said Trump could easily be labeled the most dishonest president in US history. At one point, he instructed his press secretary Stephanie Grisham to just keep repeating whatever they said. People would eventually believe it. When Grisham later left the job, she revealed this in front of the media. He told me, "It doesn't matter what you say. Just keep saying it, and people will believe you." This is called the illusory truth effect. It's the same tactic Hitler used. Repeat a lie so often that it starts to feel like the truth. In 2018, the Washington Post created a new category called Bottomless Pinocchio. This category was for people who had repeated the same lie at least 20 times. Shockingly, Trump was the first and only politician with 14 statements that immediately qualified, meaning he knowingly and repeatedly told the same lies. CNN's fact-checker Daniel Dale said Trump mixed in so many new lies that the media couldn't keep up. He overwhelmed the press by exhausting their attention. Back in 2011, Trump claimed in an interview that Barack Obama wasn't even born in the US. He doesn't have a birth certificate. What he has is a certificate of live birth, which is easy to get. He said Obama shouldn't be allowed to be president. For the next 5 years, Trump kept criticizing Obama, saying he was born in Kenya, not America. Eventually, the rumors got so strong that Obama was forced to release his birth certificate publicly. It clearly showed he was born in Hawaii in 1961, but instead of admitting his lie, Trump blamed someone else. In 2016, he finally said, okay, Obama was born in the US, but then he blamed Hillary Clinton, saying she was the one who started the rumor. BBC confirmed that Hillary Clinton never made such a claim. People say Trump doesn't just lie, he talks total nonsense. According to Harry Frankfurt's 2005 book On Bullshit, a liar knows the truth and hides it. But a bullshitter doesn't care whether it's true or not. Washington Post's Eduardo Porter says that description fits Trump perfectly. For example, when Trump became president, he blamed all of the country's unemployment and inflation problems on previous governments, without even checking the numbers. Investigations show that Trump's lying habit goes way back. In 1984, GQ magazine published a profile on Trump where he claimed to own the entire block between Central Park South and Avenue of the Americas. But in reality, he only owned 2 buildings, just 1/6 of the block. That same year, Trump made another false claim. He told Forbes a fake number for his wealth so he could be listed in their top 400 richest Americans. He said he was worth millions more than he actually was. Even crazier, it turned out he called the reporter pretending to be his own spokesperson named John Barron.
John Miller. Did you work with Barron? Yes, that's correct.
Since then, Forbes created a special rule just for Trump. Forbes editor Randall Lane said in an MSNBC interview that for the past 30 years, they've just divided whatever number Trump says by 3 to get something close to the truth. In 1987, after the stock market crash, Trump claimed he had sold all his stocks a month before and didn't lose any money. But SEC filings showed that he actually lost $19 million in the crash. Trump's list of lies and made-up stories is almost endless. In 2009, Trump bought a luxury golf course in Florida and renamed it Trump National Golf Club. He had a monument built there that claimed a bloody Civil War battle happened on the site. It even said so many people died that the river turned red with blood. And his name was right there, like he was some kind of historian. But real historians said no such battle ever happened there. Civil War expert Richard Gillespie said Trump just made up the story to play with people's emotions. When Trump was questioned about it, he lashed out at the historians instead. He's also claimed that he's won 18 golf club championships. In reality, he's only won 2. The other 16 were at clubs he either owned or managed. Pro golfer Buddy Marucci said Trump would tell club members their membership could be canceled if they beat him. So yeah, he's even used threats to back up his false claims. Tony Schwartz, a journalist and ghostwriter, actually wrote Trump's famous book, The Art of the Deal. People think Trump wrote it, but it was Schwartz. Later, Schwartz admitted he made a huge mistake by helping paint Trump in a positive light. Even the book had lies in it, like Trump, saying his grandfather was American when he was actually German. He did that because after World War II, Americans didn't like Germans, and having German roots was looked down upon. During his 2016 campaign, Trump claimed he predicted the 9/11 attacks in his 2000 book, The America We Deserve. He even said he wrote about killing Osama bin Laden before anyone knew who he was. But the book never said any of that. And people reminded him that Osama had already been on the FBI's most wanted list since 1998. So Trump made up another huge lie just to grab attention during his campaign. 6 months into his 2015 campaign, the fact-checking site factcheck.org gave Trump a title, King of Whoppers. They said in their 12-year history, no politician had ever told as many lies as Trump. And the weirdest part? Even when he's caught, Trump refuses to admit he lied. In 2016, he started a bizarre conspiracy during the election. At the time, Ted Cruz was also running for president as a Republican. Trump began spreading the idea that Cruz's father was involved in JFK's assassination. He repeated it so often that Cruz ended up losing. But there was absolutely no connection between Cruz's dad and JFK's murder. Trump just made it up. But it didn't stop there. In 2015, BuzzFeed journalist Andrew Kaczynski reported that Trump, despite always bragging about his amazing memory, conveniently forgets things when it helps him. For example, the Ku Klux Klan, an American extremist hate group. In 2016, David Duke, a former KKK leader, said he supported Trump. When asked if he would reject Duke's support, Trump casually said, "Who's David Duke? What's the KKK?" People were stunned. How could a presidential candidate not know who the KKK is? Either he genuinely didn't know, or he was pretending. And if he was pretending, there's only one reason. Maybe their agendas weren't so different. In fact, in 1970, the U.S. Department of Justice filed a racial discrimination case against Trump and his father. They were accused of refusing to rent apartments to black tenants. In 1991, Trump said he didn't like black accountants. He's also said multiple times that most Mexicans are rapists and criminals. All of this shows that Trump's thinking wasn't too far off from that of the KKK. Trump's web of lies is so massive, it can't all be covered in one video. In April 2022, Trump was giving a speech at a rally in North Carolina. The crowd burst out laughing when he said, "I'm the most honest human being in the world." We hope you enjoyed this video from Sofia Verse. Thank you so much for all your kind comments and support. See you in the next amazing video.